So we are happy to announce that we have year 6 of the Community Mental Health and Wellbeing Fund. We knew that this was coming due to the fact that we were getting multi-year money last year, and it's all kind of coming from that one pot. We are happy to announce that it has been confirmed that we also will be getting a year 7. So the fund will be returning again next year, which is really good news. So a recap from the fund from 25 to 26, and this was the fund last year. We had £582,000 to distribute to the third sector, and that was outside of the multi-year grants. So this was only for 1-year grants. We had 170 applications. Of that, 71 were awarded and 98 were rejected. Looking at it over the localities, so applications, we had Camglen 24, Clydesdale 47, 31 from East Kilbride and 51 from Hamilton. We then had various applications from organisations outside of South Lanarkshire. Now this can be down to them being national organisations or organisations that are in North Lanarkshire but run services within South Lanarkshire. The awards by localities, so East Kilbride and Hamilton get 19, Clydesdale got 16 awards and Camglen got 13, with there being 4 outside of South Lanarkshire, but again these were for South Lanarkshire specific projects that we already knew were up and running. And then you can see the split of money as to where the grants went, and bearing in mind that Hamilton is actually 3 localities within itself, so you've got Larkhall, Blantyre and Hamilton, so we always expect the application rates in Hamilton to be a wee bit higher. So moving on to year 6, we have £181,622 to spend. This is less than we've had in any other year. So due to that, we are capping grants at £10,000. Anyone who had multi-year projects, so any multi-year funded projects cannot come out of this money, so they can't apply again, and they've been told that those projects cannot apply again. Now, if your organisation was successful in getting multi-year funding, you can apply for a £10,000 grant, but it can't be for that project, and only 1 application per organisation this year. Now, what that's going to allow us to do is offer that capacity support before panel, which we couldn't do last year because of the amount of applications we were getting. So what we can do this year is when your application comes in, if there are any issues with it, or we think there's some things missing, or if we think the costings aren't quite adding up, we'll contact you and let you know, and it'll give you a chance to have a look at your application and resubmit it, or if it's the costings that aren't adding up, it gives us an opportunity to get that part fixed before it goes to panel. The fund priorities have not changed, so we're still looking at priority issues within transition and recovery plan. So suicide prevention, social isolation and loneliness, prevention and early intervention. We're looking at addressing mental health inequalities. Now, it says exacerbated by the pandemic, but we've moved out of the pandemic, so that can be mental health inequalities exacerbated by any life situation, and the at-risk groups, which is within our guidance. Providing opportunities for people to connect with each other. Responding to the cost of living crisis, so tackling child poverty through adult interventions, and supporting small grassroots community groups and organisations to deliver activities. This fund is really focused towards the small grassroots organisations, so because we have so little in the pot, we would be looking to exclude nationals from applying this year. Going back to priority number 4, which is responding to the cost of living crisis. It is an adult fund. We can only fund projects that benefit people over the age of 16. And this comes into question a lot when we look at things like library projects. How do we know there's only going to be 16-year-olds using it? We do need to ask these questions because this is a Scottish Government rule. It's not a VASLAN rule. This fund can only support adults. So just bear that in mind when you're doing your application. Reporting and monitoring requirements. So all previous reporting must be up to date. We're coming up to the 18-month mark for projects funded 24-25. The reporting documents have been sent out, but they were sent out quite early in the year. So if anyone needs them resent, I can send them back out again, but your reporting must be up to date. For projects that were funded last year, you obviously haven't done your full report yet. So there'll be a spot check report coming out, and that's really just to check how the project's going. Are you having any issues? And if so, what are they and how can we help? And if you're needing any support reporting on previous projects, please let Vaslan know. One of our development officers can come out and help with it. Important dates. So the fund opens on the 24th of August. The fund closes on the 5th of October. The panels will take place in January, and payments will be made to groups from the 2nd of February. So between the 5th of October and I'm going to say the 2nd week in December, we'll put capacity support in place for any applications that need that. I will then assess all applications, and they will then go to an independent panel who have not been involved in any of the applications up until that point. This year, Lanarkshire Links and the NHS have teamed up to create Understanding Mental Health Stigma workshop. Now, this is a free workshop that is available to the third sector. There are dates listed within this poster. One of them is the 24th of September, which falls quite well for the fund opening and closing dates. However, if we can get more than 8 people together, they are more than happy to put on separate workshops for us. So if the sector are interested in finding out more about supporting that mental health stigma, then please get in touch with either ourselves or Lanarkshire Links, and we can put together one of these workshops, or you could attend one of the workshops that are listed there. And my contact information. So I am Joanne McMahon. I am the operational lead at Vaslan, and I oversee the Community Mental Health and Wellbeing Fund. Now, before I open up to Q&As, we just wanted to talk about suicide prevention. Suicide prevention is one of the least met target groups within the fund over the lifetime of the fund. And we think there's a lot of groups out there that are already doing a lot of work with suicide prevention, but they maybe don't realise it. So we would be really keen to see applications this year that focus on things like suicide prevention, that focus on befriending, that focus on that kind of isolation and loneliness. I'm not saying that other projects would be excluded, but these are the groups, these are the projects that are really needed, or from what we're being told, are really needed within the sector at the moment. So we would be really keen to see applications to support those projects. So what I would like to do now that the presentation is done is I would be quite happy to open up to any questions. The presentation has been recorded and it will be on our website over the next week or so. But does anyone have any questions? Derek?
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everybody. My name is Derek Todd. I'm the manager of the Lanarkshire Depot, the leading deaf charity in Lanarkshire. We're actually based in Motherwell, but we do cover North and South Lanarkshire, and we've never applied to background before. And after speaking with Jimmy Weldon at the background, he said that nothing stopping us to apply. So we just got a couple of questions. We are looking to apply to Banel because like a 50-50, because we want to be fair that 50% of the money at South Lanarkshire, 50% at North Lanarkshire, because Lanarkshire alone is the third largest deaf community in Scotland, and mental health and well-being pretty much critical for deaf people because a lot of them are lonely and isolated because of the communication and language barrier. So I understand you did £10,000 cap. Unfortunately for deaf people, we have a disadvantage when it comes to communication and language because communication and language, there is a cost where here in organisation have some people with their privilege or a benefit of not having to apply for accessibility costs. So we are conscious that we might only get, if we apply, it would probably be only about £7,000 project cost and £3,000 accessibility cost, when other organisations can get the full 10,000 cost. So that will come down to that one question: is there an accessibility cost budget separate? There are some funds that have now got a separate budget for accessibility cost, and many of them are doing that now. I appreciate that you've got a very small budget now. The second question is that an online system or that a Word document system? If it's a Word document, perfect. We're happy with that, because online is very difficult, whether you go back and forth and saving online, because we BSL and we know BSL first language, and there's a team of us working on the application, and it's very difficult online. And you just want to clarify, you national. We're not a national organisation, so we're a regional organisation, because we're Lanarkshire. So I assume that we're still okay, we're still eligible to apply. Thank you very much, Joanne.
No problem. So, yeah, regional organisations are welcome to apply. However, what you're applying for would have to be within South Lanarkshire specific, so it couldn't be Pan Lanarkshire. So it would need to be a service that you're delivering specifically in South Lanarkshire, but you would still be able to apply. Your point about the accessibility, you can put that within your costings, but you can still only apply for up to £10,000. So there isn't a separate budget to add on to that for accessibility costs. So you can put that within your budget lines, but you can still only apply for up to £10,000. The application is an online forum, because it then links directly in with our CRM system and allows the process to run very smooth. However, what I can do, or what we usually do on our website, is have an example application, so the Word document, which can then be filled out. You just can't submit that to us. You can copy and paste it over. So yeah, so we can do that. That's not a problem at all.
Excellent, that's great. Okay, so thanks for clarifying the Word format template accessibility. That's disappointing, but maybe for you to consider in the future, because got the government children need, they've all now got a separate going forward, because not just deaf people, they're blind people, because we do need learning disability. So something to consider in the future. Okay, regarding, right, 45% of our members are actually from South Lanarkshire, but they come here because this is a safe space for them, and for many of them, they come here to meet other people, because it's lonely and isolation, to reduce to improve their mental health and well-being. So a safe space, deaf charity, deaf staff to look after them. We've also got qualified advocates, and we've got safety equipment here, like red flashing lights and everything. So it would be an additional cost for us to set up in South Lanarkshire. We have people coming here, and we want to try and increase deaf awareness across South Lanarkshire. So that's our plan. Thank you, Joanne.
No problem. I've just had a question come into the chat. I'm just going to, sorry, can you say what you mean by, so previously funded last year, Scottish Government done the pilot of multi-year funding, which meant we used 80% of the overall fund to go towards multi-year applications. Now, what that's allowing us to do now is put together an impact report that shows the need for multi-year funding. Those projects cannot apply to this fund, so they're still receiving money. They've still got another year left of their 2-year grant, so those projects would not be able to apply to this fund. if you were successful in multi-year money, you can still apply to the fund for another project. So if you were successful in running a peer support project through the multi-year money, but you have another project that you would like £10,000 to support, you can apply to the fund. It will be assessed in the exact same way as any other application. So we're not excluding organisations from applying. It's just the project that gets funded from the multi-year fund would not be able to apply again. It wouldn't be fair if we funded that project again while they're still receiving money. Derek?
I assume you're happy for partnership application that we will be lead, but maybe one or two organisations in Lanarkshire can co-work with us.
So we've done previously, when we've had more money to spend, we've done partnership applications where you can apply for more money because it's a partnership. This year we're not doing that. We simply don't have enough money. With the 181,000, it could get completely absorbed in partnership applications. However, the question is still on the application form. Is this a partnership? Because we always like to promote partnership working. So yes, you can do a partnership bid, but you can't apply for it. It wouldn't then allow you to apply for more money. It is capped at £10,000, and that is because we've only got £181,000 to spend.
Can you say what you mean by organisations that have previously been funded cannot reapply?
So that's what I was just saying there. It's a multi-year grant. So if you received a multi-year grant last year, you wouldn't be able to reapply for the same project this year. So it's only if you received a 2-year grant last year. So if you received a 2-year grant last year, that project cannot reapply this year because the money is still being spent. The organisation can still apply for another project, just not for the one that was funded over the 2-year fund. So that only applies to anyone that got 2 years worth of money last year. Derek?
Sorry, I know I'm asking another question because I'm new to the organisation. With regard to reporting, I assume the reporting is also online as well. And if it is there a Word document template?
No, the reporting's a Word document. So the reporting's a document that I send out to successful groups. And that's a Word document. So that's something that I do. And we also welcome various forms of reporting. So once I send it out, if you have videos or if you have case studies, if you've got anything else to show the work that you've done, that you can send that to us as well. And if it answers the questions that's on the document, then you don't need to do the document. Really, all that we're looking for is the impact that that's had. So it doesn't have to be the Word document. It just has to be something that's shown the impact that you're having. What I would like to say is you do have to be a member of Vassland to apply. So if you're not a member, go onto our website and under membership, complete the membership form because you do have to be a membership to apply for funding. Jan? Sorry, Jan, I cannot hear you. Do you want to put your question in the chat? Yeah. Okay, well, Jan does that. Alan, did you want to?
Yeah. Just regarding the application form, I tried to apply a couple of years ago, a few years before, maybe before that. And the problem I had was when you went to hold to fill in, because the form was so long, I was maybe wanting to add something to it. And once I came out of it, sometimes I couldn't get back in easily. Has that been updated now so it is easier?
So you can save.
Yeah, that's what I meant to save, yeah.
Yeah, so you can save the application and it'll give you'll create login details for form assembly and then you'll log back in and your application should be there. We can see on our end who's started an application and how far through you've got. So if you do have issues, let us know. But what I would do is with the online forums, I would maybe start with the most, like just your kind of address and things like that, the most basic of information, save it, come out of it, go back into it and see if it's all still there. And if it is, you're on the right path. And if it's not, then we can we can look to see what the problem is.
Yeah, well, I was in that computer literate then, and that was the problem I had. And basically, it was last day, last minute, last hour, and I was up at like 11 o'clock at night, and I was starting work at 5 o'clock in the morning. So in the end up, I lost it all, and we weren't able to apply. But if it's easier to do that's great now. That I know what to do now.
It should work. It should be fine. If you have any problems, give us a phone and we can check it on our end and try and offer.
I wouldn't leave it to the last minute this time.
Yeah, and please, I would definitely avoid leaving it to the last minute. Jan, just jumping back to your question, no, there's not a minimum term. So Jan's asked, is there a minimum term that your organisation has to be running? No, but we do ask that you have a governing document, so a constitution, a bank. You have to have a bank account in the organisation's name with at least two separate signatories. And if you are a new organisation, so we potentially will come back and ask for 2 months worth of bank statements, and that's just so that we can do that compliance aspect of it. Emma?
Hi, Jan. No, just a quick one. See if you got funding for last year and you were reapplying for like the second year of it, so you've not had multi-funding. Kind of 2 questions. Can it be for the same as the first year, or say, for example, like I'm just thinking we've got a new initiative we could go for. Can you apply for that instead, or does it have to be the same as last year?
No, so you can apply for any project that you want as long as it wasn't multi-year funded. What we've really fought against with this funding Scottish Government is not asking groups to reinvent groups. It has to be new groups. It has to be new ideas. So we're more than happy to fund previously funded groups. We're more than happy to fund projects that have been up and running for a while. We're not looking for you to create something brand new. So if you were funded from the single fund last year, you're more than welcome to reapply for that again this year.
Okay.
That's not a problem at all.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Like I say, the presentation has been recorded and will be on our website over the next, I would say, the next week or so. I can send the slides out to everyone who's been on the call. Happy to take any more questions, but also happy to take emails, phone calls, or if anyone would like me to come out, we're more than happy to come out and visit your organisation. Okay, so if everyone's quite happy, I'm happy to let you all go and buy some time back. Any further questions, please get in touch. All of our guidance, the example application form will all be on our website quite soon. Remember, it is an online form. Please do not submit a Word document because we can't accept it. Derek?
You should have got me thinking there about the application. I assume similar to other organisation, there is a cap of like number of characters or number of word, like a limit in the application online, and also the online application form. When we print it out, will it show everything? Because some funded website online application is quite poor. When we type in, everything is hiding behind the box. It doesn't show the full word, the full box, and that's quite annoying. So I assume your online application is quite acceptable to see everything when it's printed off, and also did it have a limit on characters or word or whatever it is?
There are certain fields that have limits because, so for example, we have to go back to Scottish Government every year and do a 100-word report on what your project is. So what we found to be easier is we've put that field down now, and it's a 100-word summary. It's been in the application form every year since year 2, and it's just a 100-word summary of what your project is. After that, I'm going to say no, I don't think there is a word character. I think that's the only one where we have a certain word count, and that's because that's the one that we then have to copy and paste onto our reporting documents. In regards to printing out the online form, I'm not 100% sure how that looks, but once you send your application in to me, I can send you the full copy of it, and it will have every box completed and you'll be able to see it fully. So I can send you a copy of your application form. It's not a problem. Okay. Well, if we're all quite happy, I'm quite happy to end the meeting on that note. If anyone has any other questions, please email. We're here to help. We want to make it as accessible as possible and also as easy for you guys to apply to as possible. So get in touch if you need any further support, and we can get the development officers out to you, or I can come out and meet with you. It's no problem at all.